Hey, what's up everyone? We're down here in Fells Point in Baltimore, Maryland. We're at a listing I'm going to film. So basically we're going to do a little job shadow today. I'm going to get you guys walking through here with us. It's going to be a little raw, it's going to be a little uncut. The idea is just to kind of show you like my typical workflow and what I'm doing on site. So this house is actually, I'm filming it for two different people. One is the stager and one is the agent. So I'm going to kind of focus on details a lot more than most people would. I recommend getting details anyway, but we'll just start with the gear. The gear I have is the A7 III with the Tamron 17-28. I have the Zhiyun, what is this, the Weebil S. My settings right now, I'm on HLG2 with the 709 profile. I am at 60 frames per second in HD, and I am at 1/125th at 2.8 right now. I've already walked through the house and made sure everything looked good. So we're just going to start from the front and keep working our way through. So the first shot we want to get is going to be sort of the entrance shot. All right. And right now I'm just getting a nice wide shot of the whole house, kind of like the first thing you see as you come in. And also you can see that I am shooting pretty low and up. It kind of makes the house look a little bit bigger. This is a row home here in the city. Typically row homes are a little bit more claustrophobic than this one, but this one's actually really nice. All right, usually go back and forth a few times. I do have it in autofocus as well. I just have it in zone focus. I find that usually catches everything that I need in focus. So unless I really need to hone in and I really want to be specific with it, I'll change it to like, you know, point or whatever I need. Right now I'm still at 17 millimeters, and I'm just going to catch another angle of this. Coming in low again, getting a little bit of this chair in the foreground here. It's always nice to have a little bit of foreground coming. I'll probably go to the other side of the room and I'll catch this side coming in and get my wide shot from this angle, and then I'll start working onto the detail shots. So I'm going to start here once again, and my ISO set to about 800 right now. Should be fine. And like this. Nice wide and low shot again. All right, now I'm going to start working on some sort of detail shots. I really like emphasizing the way that this couch looks with the colors. The good thing about this 17-28 is that when it zooms, it all zooms inside, so it's not going to throw your gimbal off too much. So I can get in here and zoom in and get another shot, the same thing but just a little bit closer and tighter. I really like to get close in on details too. It really helps kind of bring a new dimension to the video and not just keep looking at rooms over and over again. I'm going to get over here, get some of these little details. That light is coming through the window here, so I'm going to kind of put my exposure down. I'm now at ISO 200. Get a couple different angles, sort of a parallax shot and then a zooming in shot. Anything to help tell the story a little bit differently. And one great thing actually about the A7 III, and I use all the time, is that it actually has the crop mode so that you can essentially go in a little bit further in the 28 than you actually can otherwise. I literally use that all the time. It's super useful. Now as far as some of this other stuff goes, the fireplaces, they're probably a good details to pick up, especially if it's an old historic house. People love to see that type of stuff. So I'm going to make sure I get these in there. It's a little bit bright coming through that window, so I'm going to have to adjust the exposure. The stager went out of her way to make sure that she put a little bit of a writing desk over here in the corner. So I'm making sure that her work does not go unseen. All right, kitchens. Anytime you can, you want to shoot through doorways going into rooms. It's kind of like a reveal shot, so you kind of are revealing it, or at least using it as foreground or whatever. So with this one, I'm probably gonna do the same. Probably gonna focus on coming in and up this way a little bit, just to kind of show it. But yeah, we'll see. Let's just get this. Always go into the room first and get your exposure. I'm at about 800 right now. So once again, I'm gonna get low, and I'm gonna kind of reveal shot with this here. Like that, it looks a lot better. And now I'll kind of come in here and kind of figure out like what my next step would be, and kind of what, like imagine walking through a house and what kind of you would see, what like your eyes would go to, or what you want the viewer to look at first. Always look out for unwanted things. That wasn't staged, by the way. That was actually there. I'm gonna bump this ISO up quite a bit. I'm at 1250. Make sure my booties are on again. All right. Once again, I'm coming in at a sort of angle so that it's just a little bit more interesting than just straight down. Sometimes I like the symmetrical kind of shot, but in this case, I just feel like sort of this angle kind of brings out a little bit more, shows a little bit more of the kitchen better. So I'm gonna get a nice little shot like this. I haven't shown this side of the kitchen yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Make sure I get these shots. Show this side of the kitchen. And with this one, I'm not really doing a parallax. I'm just gonna do kind of a push in. Now I'll probably go into some of these details and show some of these details that are going on in here. I'm gonna push into 28. Just gonna get a nice shot of the whirlpool up here. Same thing, come back. I tend to like the going back shot on this one, so I'll probably end up using that. Just get a nice shot of those. I'm still at 28 millimeters. All right, so I'm pretty much done with the kitchen. I'm gonna go back to 17. And in this case, I actually really like probably going like directly straight, like almost a symmetrical shot, like squared up to the back of the house, only because it kind of shows a lot more. And then obviously I'm gonna go in and do different angles, but I kind of like the introduction of this as being a sort of straight shot. I think it looks good. There's really a lot of dimensions there. So I'm just gonna do a straight push in. I'm gonna go in here and get some details. For this, I like to get a little bit low as well. Some details of the... And one very, very important thing while I'm getting some of these shots is to always make sure that you're talking, communicating with your clients and seeing what it is that they actually want. Because you might be filming a video expecting to do a 3-minute video, and really all they want is a 1-minute Instagram clip. So just make sure that you're sort of keeping their needs in mind, because it's easy to either overwork or underwork yourself. And also like what things to showcase, what features they really want to push, because they'll write this amazing description and they want to push certain things. And it might even be by the seller's request. So just make sure that you're always just thoughtful of what they really want to showcase. Make sure we're showing the staging, make sure we're showing the chairs, the overall vibe. I went back out to 17 because I want to get a nice wide shot of this. All right, a couple wide shots. Going to get a nice wide shot of this side of the house. Kind of show the perspective here. Once again, I'm always staying low and kind of giving that feeling of grandeur, making it feel a little bit bigger than it is. There is a little back patio. So I usually do exteriors last. I just don't feel like fiddling with all the exposures and all that stuff. I will go do the whole house, and then if there's a back, I'll go do the back, and then like if the sellers are here, I can tell them I'm out of their way and just go out front and do the end. Or I can just lock the door, go out and do the front, and then I'm out. But yeah, we're gonna go head on upstairs and we're gonna tackle the bedrooms and the bathrooms. This is the bedroom over here. Here's the bathroom here. Bathrooms are weird. I'll probably film this one because there is staging in it and it's nice, and we probably want people to see that this is a nice bathroom. But I wouldn't focus on it too long. Don't do too much in bathrooms. But this one, I don't know if you can see this, come around here. So it's kind of cut off. So there's really no way to show anything interesting like as a grand shot. So what I'm gonna do is kind of take this as like maybe like 2 shots. I'm gonna do 1 shot kind of being wide and going into where the sink and everything is. And then I'll take a 2nd shot showing like there's a shower over here so that people can at least see that there's a shower. The agent might tell you to take it out if it doesn't look great, but it's better to have it. It's always better to have it. All right, so I'm gonna try and get as, and this shot's just basically just showing there is a shower. So this is a full bath and there are shelves. It works. You know, sometimes if you end up in a room that's way too dark, I do make the conscious decision to go to 24 frames per second so that I can cut my shutter speed in half, and that gives you a lot more light. But I don't always do that. Sometimes because I just rely so heavily on this ISO that I just crank it up. So this is a bedroom. So what I'm gonna do is I really wanna show how this flows. So I know automatically what I want to do is going to be a speed ramp in post-production. So right here, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to turn straight into the room. And then obviously in post-production, you'll be super fast in the beginning and then slowing down once you get into the room. And the reason you do that is because you want to show the area and show how it's laid out, but you also don't want to be having someone stare at like this narrow little path for longer than a few seconds. So I'm just going to go all the way into the room where my final shot's going to be and kind of line that up and then get your exposure set to where you want it and then just leave that at that exposure. Even if back here is a little bit overexposed or a little bit underexposed, you just want to keep your final shot in mind and make sure that that's where your exposure is set. So we're going to back up here. I'll probably start right here where these kind of closets start. And I'm going to go straight in and turn. Good. And just like my other shots, I'm going to make sure I get this a few times so that everything's good, especially when you're relying on autofocus, just to make sure that you got it. So I kind of like the way this angle looks because I'm able to show a lot more in this angle because you can see the chair, the pillow, the little computer, you see the desk, you can see the plants, you can see everything from this angle. So if I shot from this angle, I wouldn't see as much. So just always think about how much you can show in like one shot as opposed to making it multiple shots. All right, I'm kind of pushing in and around here. All right, I think this room is done. I don't think we need to do much more in here. We're gonna head over to the other side of the house and we're gonna do some bedroom, and I think there might be a few things upstairs, and then we'll be pretty much out of here. Boost my ISO here, get my balance. And in this case also, the backlighting from those windows is going to be really strong. So I'll just push it as far as I can until I feel like it just looks ridiculous. But just enough that you can see the rest of the room. It's not always going to be perfect. And then once again, I'm using the door frames as kind of like a reveal and foreground. And I'm just going to push through. Now with bedrooms again, if there's nothing in there, you don't have to focus so much in here. But with this one being staged, obviously you're going to want to show a lot more. What I'm going to do is I'll probably, since I'm going to be focusing straight in this area specifically, I'll probably set my white balance a little bit less so that these aren't as yellow. So I'm going to go in and set my white balance to 3600. I think that looks good. I'm gonna widen this up again. I'm gonna get a nice, just straight wide shot of straight onto this. Now I'll probably get a couple detail shots of the side tables. I'll probably get a shot of this fireplace over here just to show that there's a fireplace in here, even though they saw it in the wide shot. You just want to emphasize it, especially in these historic homes, because these are the types of things that people are really paying attention to. So in this shot, I can get a decently wide shot, just kind of showing it. And I find one other thing too is that people, you don't have to be scared of being a little underexposed or like not being super bright with everything. I feel like moodiness, especially in videos, really helps show the vibe. I try to recreate what the vibe feels like when you're here, as opposed to like just making everything look perfectly exposed, because people are so used to seeing like real estate photography where everything is like perfectly exposed, it's HDR, everything looks great. But in this case, it's not really the case, and that's not really what you're going for, at least in my mind. I feel like you really want to show the vibe of the house. And like right in here, it's like a real chill, kind of like nice moody vibe. So I'm not going to make this look bright and airy or anything like that. Nor should you, because you're just going to blow out windows and it's going to look awful. I'm going to get another nice wide shot of over here, sort of using the bed as foreground as well as the side of the wall. So in this shot, you'll be able to see fireplace, a little bit of staging over there, how much room is actually left in here after putting this bed in here. All right, so we are pretty much wrapped up here. The last thing you want to do is to make sure that all the doors are locked, make sure all the lights are off, and then you're good to go. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video and you like this style of content, you want to see more, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.